We've conquered all of Europe. Manchester United fans. நீங்க யூரோப்பா லீக்ல இருக்கீங்க.
I actually made a prediction, if you all remember. Manchester United will be Europa League champions.
I don't remember.
No, wait.
Play that episode, guys, and then you will...
இல்ல, but they champions already.
No, wait.
இல்ல, champions ஆயிட்டாங்களா?
Even now, you know about it.
He doesn't want to be involved in this conversation.
நான் இந்த conversation வெளியாகி 2013 ஆயிடுச்சு.
டேய், நீங்க இந்த conversation after long time வரீங்கடா.
So how, as a Man United fan, how do you feel about Liverpool tying your record?
I mean, had to happen. So.
Had to happen, man. No, I mean, if like 10 years ago, we never would have guessed.
இல்ல, சோகத்துல அப்படியே இடிஞ்சு போய் தாடியெல்லாம் சேவ் பண்ணிட்டு அப்படியே 10 நாள் குளிக்காம வந்த மாதிரியே இருக்கு.
ஆமாண்டா.
But you know, kind of like how Man United are dancing around the bottom of the table. We have a dancer with us.
Yes, exactly. Welcome to the studio.
ஐயோ, வந்து காரி துப்புறான்னு துப்பிடுங்க.
It's a good link, well. Like how
smooth transition. பாராட்ட மாட்டீங்க, சோ நானே பாராட்டிக்கிறேன்.
Hey, I was just பாராட்டுறானீங்க சார்.
Hello.
But this is 100% professional. Yes, so welcome to the show, Iswarya.
Hi, thanks for having me, guys.
No, thank you for your time. So basically, I think a lot of people have probably known you through your content and whatever you have done so far, all your works. I've seen a lot of your dance, particularly the one that you did at the, you know, the walk at Harbourfront. A couple of years ago, I think. There was one dance that you did and my wife was showing me. I was like, oh, okay. In the level la paathu. At that time, my wife was trying to get me to dance.
இல்ல,
During your wedding time?
No, after that.
Why?
I don't know.
But why?
She already playing basketball in my life.
இல்ல, இதெல்லாம் ரெக்கார்ட்.
I love basketball.
I think this is a very good snippet.
My wife, yeah, but yeah. So basically, we wanted to get you on the show to learn more about your like dance journey and basically understand a little bit more about the art behind dancing, lah. Because nowadays a lot of people are posting content based on now like Tamil pattala pathina like our sonna in previous episodes, like a lot of the content is catered towards like social media mari dancing. Like if you see the way they dance, it's all filmed in like it's all done catered to a portrait format and all that. So there's like so much evolution happening and நீங்க வந்து ஸ்டேஜ்ல இருக்கீங்க, social media content பண்ணிருக்கீங்க, and you've done like well known shows and competitions. So I wanted to learn more about it lah. So basically நீங்க வந்து 3 வயசுல இருந்து ஆடிக்கிட்டு இருக்கீங்களா?
Yeah, correct.
So how did that start?
Okay, so basically, I was just dancing at home. I think when I was very, very young, like 1 or 2 years old, and Appa used to play just random songs at random time. And I think I would be very expressive when I perform. And even if I fell down, I would just mask it and get up and perform. Like, I wasn't the child that like cried or like just stopped doing what I was doing. Like, I just continued the flow of like movements. And my mom is actually a dancer. She used to dance. So, avanga like, you know, when I was much younger, she used to teach me dance. So I think because it was part of my family and Amma had it in her, I think that's how it started as well. And of course, my parents put me in a dance school. So like pakatli vandu we had this Murugan Hill temple, if I'm not wrong, that's in Bukit Panjang. And they enrolled me there and that's how it started. And I haven't stopped dancing since then.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you remember like, I mean it's a bit like young, but when you were like growing up, கொஞ்சம் விவரம் தெரிஞ்சுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, right? When you're dancing, like do you feel ஒரு young age ல இருந்து do you feel the same emotion when you dance as you do feel now?
No, absolutely not. I think when I was young, you know, when you're younger, they always say that you don't really think too much.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And you're very confident. Like no one, you don't really care about whether someone is judging you, how people are watching you, what are the expectations that you need to meet, right? So as a young dancer, it was all about just enjoying the moment, living, you know, in that space and like just moving. But as you grow older, there's a lot of expectations. There's a lot of ideas about what dance means, and at different stage of your life it's about how dance resonates with you at that point. So is it just a hobby, is it a career? So apdi paakumbodhu there's a lot of different like things that goes behind like how you approach dance, and it changes over time. Yeah, so the 3-year-old me would have just it's just pure joy. There's nothing else, like expectation kadiyadu, nothing involved. You just go and perform, you just learn. And then now I have to like think about audience, how we have evolved, what kind of dance approach I need to take, what will be more appealing to the crowd, what also still resonates with you while trying to, balance all of that. So it's very different. Yeah.
So there's like a thread.
Do you still find joy in doing all those things together?
Absolutely. I think that's why I'm still dancing. I mean, there are a lot of challenges, of course, right? I mean, when you have to think about so many different avenues, there will definitely be challenges. But I think at the end of the day, after every performance or after every like class, you just sit down and just feel really happy that you did that. And I think that joy is what is going to take you very far in the journey. If you just do it as a routine, like you don't have any emotion tagged to it, you're just doing it as a career, but like there's no, sometimes you do a full-time job and be like, we're just doing it because we need financial stability, right? And the direction if I keep doing dance because it's a career, I need it to, if it's like for my company, I need to make sure it's sustainable. But if I lose the joy and the spark, then I won't be able to do any of those. Yeah, so somewhere I'm just really happy doing it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's just a சின்ன வயசா இருக்கும்போது it's like free and easy. இப்போ வந்து there's like a strategy and there's
yes,
some
absolutely. Yeah.
So நீங்க வளரும்போது like in this journey, right? Did you have any inspirational dancers that இவங்கள மாதிரியே நான் வரணும், இவங்க ஆடுறத பார்த்து வாவ் அந்த மாதிரி யாராச்சும் இருந்தாங்களா உங்களுக்கு?
Definitely. So my teacher Neela Mami, so she's not here with us today. But she has impacted so many dancers' life. But I started with her when I was as young as, I think, 12. Yes, that's many years back. And she kind of introduced me to Bharatanatyam. I mean, I did started learning, like, at different classes and with different gurus and instructors. But of course, my longest dance journey was with Apsara's Arts, and I still am dancing and learning with them. So she has really shaped me into the dancer that I am today. Because avanga vande like ukkandukitte she will teach you, but there's just so much that you can learn from her. She will teach you not just about dance, but like discipline, like how and a history behind what you're doing. Edukku aadrom, what's the intention behind it. And it's always such a joy to be in a class. I barely was at home sinna vayasla. Like every time after school, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go like to Goodman Art Center, and that was like 1.5 hours away from where I used to live.
Right.
And none of that mattered to me at that point in time. I would just go because like her presence and aura was everything, and I just loved dancing with her. Like she would teach every time there's something new that I learned from her. And it's just the way she has shaped so many and impacted so many of our lives in many different ways. And she's also very strict, but also very nurturing. So like, that balance. Like there's so many things that you can learn from her, and, take it with you when you are, being a dancer, or like whether you are actually starting a company. There's so many values that she has taught that I kind of pick up from, and I use that as guidance for what I do right now.
Sounds
so
like
nice to hear that.
Sounds like a proper Tamil teacher.
It's very nice to hear that, because when you say you're going to travel 1.5 hours to Goodman Art Center, what I immediately thought was, when you love something so much, all these like chinna kashtangal of like long travel times or like long wait times, they seem very minor in comparison when you're focusing on the big goal.
Correct.
Maybe like ask this question. What நீங்க வந்து சொன்னீங்க dance வந்து it gives you joy and all that, but ஒரு வாக்கியத்துல சொல்லணும்னா, what is dance to you?
In one sentence.
இவன் என்ன மாதிரி கேள்வி கேட்பான் காலங்காத்தாலையோ?
You had your breakfast yet?
I did.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
எங்கிருந்து வருது?
Critical thinking.
Thank you.
Dance is my identity. You cannot take that away from me.
You ask one sentence, you give in one word.
Even better.
No, it really is. Actually, I cannot imagine what happens on a day-to-day basis if you take the dance portion out of my life, because I've been doing that since young. Like when we speak English, we've been taught how to do that since we're young, right? And then you won't forget it. You won't lose that language. It's always going to be with you for the rest of your life. So ever since like I think I could understand anything. All I did was dance and academics and family. Honestly, I didn't watch any cartoons when I was young age. It was always just dance videos or like dance stuff. So when people be like, even when my husband talks about like different cartoon channels, I'm like, okay, it feels like I'm just starting to watch some cartoon channels. And people get a bit amused. They're like, huh, you have not watched this? No. Yeah.
Pop girls.
And it's very difficult to like go back into that sometimes because it was not part of you entirely. So people don't actually understand because like when I tell them, oh, I've not watched this, I'm like, no, it's not that I didn't have a childhood, but like my childhood was just so different. Yeah.
The judgmental look like,
No, but it's not like you. Like we watch wrestling, three of us. He never ever watched wrestling at all. So it's like
I know who were the wrestlers.
You know who is who, but you don't know what happened.
But for me, I didn't understand why people were so crazy about like stage play. Like people were just, you know.
It's a TV show, lah.
Yeah, it's just a
TV show.
Now I get it. Now I understand it.
It's just a TV show.
But then the amount of judgments people give.
If you don't watch something, yeah.
It's like,
And then like, hey,
I get very amazed by it.
Yeah, no, but I have seen like they will judge you like, oh, what were you doing all this while in your life? I was dancing. You have an answer.
Yeah.
What's your answer?
What? On what?
Why not watch wrestling?
Oh, my parents didn't let me actually.
Oh.
See, they thought it was a negative influence.
Mine also.
Huh? Then how do you bypass that?
I cry.
And it worked.
Please demo.
No, I talk to you, I want to cry all the time. No, I cried. Then they say, okay, you study well in exam, I give you. Then I study well in exam. Then I got the channel for a while. Then I cock up the next exam. Then it went away. அது நடக்குறது. Yeah. Okay. So you were mentioning just now when you were talking about like life and family and all the other commitments along with dance, right? As an adult now, and நீங்க வந்து சொன்னீங்க young timeல dance பண்ணும்போது it was pure joy, but now there's a lot of technicalities involved, a lot of managing perceptions, and outside of that dance spectrum, you also have your family, your life, and those sort of things to manage. So how do you juggle all that now?
I may look like I have everything like, you know, planned out very well. I mean, you need a whole lot of discipline. And I mean, without that, I think we cannot try to balance multiple things. You need to know when is the right time to do what. So I know sometimes it gets very messy because I am actually working full time. I have a full-time career and as a clinical research coordinator. So that's an entirely different part of my life. I do that 8 to 6 on a day-to-day basis from Monday to Friday.
8 to 6, huh?
It's 8:30 to 6, regular work hours. And I
That's
don't,
half an hour longer than regular work.
and I don't have work from home. So
Oh no, okay.
so I have to be there because I'm patient fronting.
Okay.
So I enjoyed that because I love science. Okay, so it's a choice. I made this decision to work full time. I like a structure. So Bakali and Jana, if I need to think what I need to do for the day, it really confuses me and it messes up with my mind because since young I've always been, it's like a clock. You know, I've been working like a clock. So like I wake up at like 6, I go to school, I finish school, and my school was because I was in SOTA. Art school. I used to end at like 6 p.m. Sometimes you have extra class at 9 p.m. Yeah, so it's like it's not a regular school where you end at 1 p.m. and you get to leave after 1. So I left home as early as 6 and I'll come back at like 7. But I'll also go for Bharatanatyam class after because in SOTA you don't do Bharatanatyam.
Okay.
So then I'll go to Apsaras and I'll be learning under Mami like almost every single day. I'll be there doing Bharatanatyam. So this is the structure I've been like growing up, right? So therefore I think now without that structure it kind of messes me up a little bit. So I did try not doing a full-time career for a short bit and just focusing on dance, and I found it very hard to manage. But like right now I'm enjoying it even though it's very exhausting because you physically have to be present at work, right?
Yes.
And then in the evening you have to do like rehearsals or you have to plan out, and I'm no longer just a dancer, so I think that's what makes it a little bit more challenging. But when I'm just a dancer, I have to think about my growth. Just have to focus on like how I need to build myself as a dancer, right? Like, you know, training, going for rehearsals, going for classes, putting myself out there. But because I'm running a company, I always have to plan ahead. So rehearsals munjikoda, sometimes I go back home and I'm not actually present at home space because I'll be thinking about what's next for the dancers. Enna project panano, like how can I continue having platforms for them to go for and like try out and stuff. So it's very difficult. Like actually I don't really switch off except for I think when I sleep. Until then I'm just, my mind is constantly active. Yeah. So it's very tough, but besides discipline, I think support is very important. Right. When you want to multiple juggle things in your life, you need a great support system. Yeah. So I have that and I'm very blessed to have that because my parents, when I lived with my parents at a point in time, they used to bring me for all the classes. Like Appa would come and fetch me and Appa was always there. And he's still there right now as well. Like even if I go for a class or if I go for any shows, he's always there. He always comes and now he doesn't just take care of me, take care of my dancers as well. So like, you know, simple things like just dropping them off and making sure they're safe. And like my husband just hears out whatever that I have to. Sometimes I do rent to him. Like, how do I start? Where do I go? He takes all of that. But like, he's very supportive. Like he listens and he's actually very involved in the arts as well. Okay. Maybe because we've been together for very long. So he knows my lifestyle. He understands this is my lifestyle. And he gives me that space to do what I need. But we also try to have family time. So yeah, sometimes I don't know where I fit in, but the family time. But we'll always work it out. We'll always plan out in advance when we want to go out and stuff. So that way I'm able to balance work, family and dance. So I always plan ahead.
By planning.
Yeah, I have a calendar. Like I need to jot down everything.
I think in a way, it's very comforting to know that you are following in the footsteps of your mother and your teacher as well.
Yeah.
That's a very nice thought.
நீங்க வந்து சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தீங்க கம்பெனின்னு.
Yes.
அத பத்தி கொஞ்சம் விவரமா சொல்லுங்க. Can you expand on that? Royal Illusion, am I right?
Royal Illusion, yes, correct. So I started Royal Illusion in 2021. So that was actually just right after COVID.
Oh, that's brief.
Yeah. So okay. So just to give a bit of a pre company time period, right? So I came back from overseas after my bachelor's degree and I wanted to start from scratch because I didn't know where to go, what to do, and I wanted to come back to the dance field. But because we have been out of the country for like 3 years, which is a good amount of years, I was trying to study what the Singapore art scene was like and what are the things that we can do, like, you know, to give back to the community, because I have been dancing. Of course, I am still learning, but like, how else can I contribute back to the community? So, adapati yosikam there were a lot of events that happen, right? There are always going to be events. So then they were always looking for dancers, and I used to do call-outs. And we will get a group of dancers together and we will just perform. And after that, we'll dissolve because no one's committed. We're not like a company, right, to hold on to each other. So, apdi pannumbodhu I noticed there were some things that were lacking. So, for example, chemistry with your dancers, because you're coming for a very short period of time and then you are performing and then you go off. So, like the bond or the chemistry, like all of that kind of elevates your performance as well. You know, so long like you need to have like a good understanding of your co-dancers. Appadan ninga stage la aadumbodhu you look like a unit. You know, that the way, the quality and everything will speak for itself when there's a lot of chemistry and technique that they're learning together. So that's how I decided that maybe I should start something more concrete. So that's when I thought about starting a company. But I'm just the kind of person who has hesitate a lot before I start something, because Appa always tells me this very strongly. He said that whatever you start, you cannot just start because you are thinking of it as a temporary thing. You need to know how is this going to be, you know, for the years to come, and what are you able to provide? Are you even able to provide? So think about all of that. So I think about 2 years before I decided that, okay, let's just start. Yeah. Let's just think about, you know, having a crew. So then that's how Royal Illusion came about. And I started with 12 dancers. So I selected 12 people that I've worked with across that 4 years that I was here. and they are very close friends and co-dancers that I've worked with. So Aramikamoda, you need to obviously start with a group of people that you're close to as well. You want to know whether this is also going to work, when you bring everyone together. And everyone had different dancer backgrounds. I think that's the beauty of my company. So நம்ம வந்து ஒரு academy கிடையாது, like grading structure அந்த மாதிரி we don't have that, and I don't teach like one particular dance style. Like a classical arts institution வந்து you have proper grading and you have proper margams to learn and stuff like that. Mine is more of like a performing company where everyone comes from a different age group. I have like 15 to 40. And when it comes to dance training backgrounds, we also have like as low as like 3 years, and we also have 25 years or 30 years of dance training. So it was challenging to bring them together, but I think that was the initial stages. But I think now we have learned how to like bring all of them together, and when they train together, the quality is so different, the output is so different, and we see that. And they also challenge themselves, because if sometimes with a new dancer like we will be afraid, right? Like evlo push panano, like how much do we need to do? And then when they watch the other co-dancers who are putting a lot of effort and they're like training very differently, they kind of just meet together and they will train together. And I think that's very beautiful, because they learn from each other, they lean on each other's experience, and that's how they become a unit. So it doesn't matter whether you have 2 years of training or 20 years of training. When you dance, you look like you have had the same number of like years of training. Right. So that's what we want to achieve actually in Royal Illusion, is to bring everyone together to look the same. And I think when we did a couple of performances, like some of them would have come to me and said, okay, I couldn't pick out a dancer. Like everyone did so well. And I think that kind of affirms what we actually do as well. Yeah, like yarume vande like don't overshine, overpower. Everybody is dancing. And not that everybody is dancing equally, but like in the same level. Like they're all shining. They're all like each superstars in their own way.
I remember because it was one of the shows.
Oh, the
live
Deepavali show, Pongal show.
I think last year.
Deepavali show.
Amarka Deepavali.
Yeah.
So I remember
we were there.
we saw the dance and it was a unit. Like it was really like a choreographed unit, and I was like, wow.
It was Anbe, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Correct. It was very nice. I remember.
Yeah.
I think for that, I have to give it to Malaka and Kumaran as well. So from the production crew, they love to challenge me most of the time. They'll be like, in a good way, in a positive way.
Yeah.
So they said like, okay, that's song. Because song usually avanga da kudupanga. So that's song. And then they will say, okay, these are my set. This is my set. I'm going to have peacock feathers, and this is the color you have. And I want 3 different costumes. So usually when the costumes uniform in terms of coordination and formation shifts, it's very easy to visualize when I'm preparing, right? I don't have to worry who needs to move from point A to point B. I can just move according, because ellarum ore outfit da potirukanga. But if you want 3 different colors, and when you want to do formation shift, it always have to be symmetrical. If a blue and a blue moves, you cannot be a blue and yellow cross, right? It has to be a dancer is wearing blue costume and a blue costume has to cross. It cannot be a blue and yellow crossing.
If you want symmetry.
Yeah, that's if you're doing symmetry. And most of the times you need to create formations, and it can get very messy when you have multiple colors on stage. We had green, blue, and teal, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so it can get very messy if you don't have a structure. So at every formation shift that happens, it always has to be a symmetrical shift, and you have to think about it. So like I remember I had this book, and I was just scribbling B, like because it's like blue, green. After that, I was like, okay, it's very confusing. So they all had to wear their costumes, and you have to visually like move them in the space. Yeah. But I think my dancers saw me literally go a bit crazy, because I'll be like scribbling on my piece of paper and throwing. I'm like, no, that's not working. Yeah, but it was fun to create that. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
But I know the formation.
Sorry.
But it's related to that, the question.
I've never thought dance as a football.
No, it is why.
I've never thought about it from that perspective.
No, it definitely is, bro. Sometimes I see like I used to watch like AGT and all those things. I see the dances that they do like, well, it's so synchronized, like a lot of the movements and all that, like, timing and all
the
that.
Timing that they shift as well. Yeah.
So okay, so it's related to something you mentioned earlier. You mentioned about like perception, stage and all that. But for this sort of show that you did, there is a stage element and there's also a broadcast element.
Yeah.
How do you actually cater to both within one performance?
Yeah. So when it's for media, right? So
Yeah.
there's camera angles that you have to like be mindful of. So
Yeah.
when I do my choreography, I usually draw out my patterns, or there's actually an app. There's actually a choreography app right now.
Oh.
So I use that to visualize. So I'll just put all the dances and then I will move them and I'll see how they're moving from one point to another, and then I will note down the camera angles. So, and I mean, I'm very blessed to have to be working with people who are able to also give me the chance to explain to them how I want the camera angle to be. But சில பேர் they will tell you இதான் angle. நீங்க இப்படி choreograph பண்ணுங்க. That also works. But then there are also certain producers who are willing to listen to you. Like, sorry, நீங்க தான் choreograph பண்றீங்க. நீங்க சொல்லுங்க like how is your formation shifting from point A to point B, and they will listen. When they do it, you actually do see like, okay, I want front facing for this because from center to V avanga alaga அதை capture பண்ணுவாங்க. Or I say my dancers are going from center to diagonal, I want this camera point, they will do the camera point according to that as well. So stage performance is very different to media performances. You need to cater to the different camera points, and I always tell my dancers stage performance பண்ணும்போது நீங்க நேரா பார்த்து ஆடுவீங்க, right? You always just look front. But media னு வரப்ப, whenever there's camera in front of you, you know, those they move around, as well as any point you capture that camera, you have to look right into that because that's your audience as well. Yeah. So it's actually very difficult on the dancer as well because they are very trained to just watch straight and dance. Suddenly you tell them stage ko poi, oh, I need to favor this camera, I need to favor this camera. It will take them some time, but they'll get it eventually. Yeah. So
I have a question. So in the mari like live show and broadcast both happening on one go, right? So how it works is it, I mean, I'm asking, so does it work in a way that those dancers who are only facing the camera face the camera, and those dancers who are not in the camera face the audience, or always must situate facing the camera?
So it varies. So there are points where you can have everyone facing a different camera point. So all have a different camera point they're facing, or there can be a group. It really varies according to the choreography. So I can choreograph however I want, but I always will have center. Like there will be moments where we are doing centered movement. So live audience, we see that whole movement. Like we actually cater to performing to the live crowd as well. But we also have shifts where we go to the camera. But technically audience anga da irukanga. So we still cater to them. But maybe nammaloda eye contact that it's directly looking into camera for that point. Then we shift back to center and stuff. And we always, my dancers are never put in one position. So over one piece of 3 minutes choreography, it can be 15 changes in terms of formations. Yeah. So they're constantly moving. Yeah.
Sadly, I wasn't able to appreciate choreography whenever I saw dancing on a TV. It's only when I saw it live. Example, Pona Varsha when Amarkala Deepavali. So that's when I truly appreciated choreography, movement, uniformity, symmetry. It was eye-opening experience for me usually. Because I don't really attend all these kind of shows usually. So yeah.
கொஞ்ச நேரத்துல அவன் algebra sin 10 cosine சொல்ல போறாங்க.
Because he's talking about symmetry.
Symmetry.
You go and stand in that corner, go.
இதெல்லாம் ஒரு ஜோக்குன்னு
காலங்காத்தாலடா டேய்.
Symmetry is math, man.
I mean,
is it?
No lah.
Yeah. Isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, you study about symmetry in math. There's formula for symmetry.
For the graphs?
Asymmetrical.
இல்ல இப்ப நான் மேத்ஸ் நான்
It's been far too long.
Yeah, it's my livelihood.
Maths இல்ல.
Oh, really?
அவனா பேசுறான்டா மேத்ஸ் பத்தி. ஐயோ.
He's an engineer, so he has to do maths.
You have to do it.
I just check. Okay, எல்லாம் okay தான்.
No, I'm just like you. After I place the camera, I need to go back and see, am I recording it? Then I'll have to rewind the song again.
சரி தொப்பி போட்டுறப்ப அந்த ஒரு படத்துல
அந்த
is it Madhavan in that movie?
இல்ல ஜீவா மூவி.
ஜீவாவா?
Boom boom, they know they will know.
Yeah, சரி. இல்ல பரவாயில்லை. டேய்
பரவாயில்லை. Never mind.
No, it's like asking, do you lock the door after I walk?
Oh yeah. No, I don't want to tell the story again.
Oh no, not.
The lock story is going on and on.
Okay, fine. But you already brought it up, so let's just tell the lock story.
ஐயோ.
நீ கதையை சொல்லு.
So we all went for a trip to Scotland. Then we went to Liverpool. This was 2019.
2019. 2019.
So what happened was We came back ஒரு 10 மணி இருக்கும். Then all went to the room already, all very tired and stuff. Dinner, some of us never even have dinner, but அந்த நேரத்துல வந்து ஆர்டரும் பண்ண முடியல because the shops were closed.
ஒரே ஒரு பாஸ் இந்த பாயிண்ட்டை மட்டும் நல்லா பிடிச்சிருங்க. Some of us had dinner,
Some
Okay.
never.
some didn't.
Okay.
Okay?
இல்ல
இந்த பாயிண்ட் ரொம்ப முக்கியம்.
So I and Yuva got this paranoia நம்ம இருக்குது, and Liverpool is like known for like you know like notorious and stuff. So we are ஒரு பயம் நம்ம ரெண்டு பேரும், and we like went around checking the whole house because up and down window பூட்டி இருக்கா எல்லாமே செக் பண்றோம். ஏன்னா கதவு வந்து சாத்தி இருக்கனால விண்டோ பூட்டி இருக்கா, கதவு வந்து from inside we check in the கதவு திறந்து இருக்கா everything. Then after that எல்லாம் மூடி இருக்கு everything. We went to sleep. So மறுநாள் காலையில் எந்திரிக்கும் போது was like wondering.
We were supposed to check out already.
Yeah.
Next one.
Was like எல்லாம் செக் பண்ணிட்டு எல்லாரும் படி விட்டு இறங்கி வந்துட்டு இருக்கோம். Then was like சாவியை காணோம், சாவியை
வீட்டு சாவி
காணோம்,
காணோம்,
only. We are finding inside the house
Everywhere.
everywhere. Okay,
Then
the
we like,
last
do we
person who
lose
went out of the house is that mundam there.
இல்ல தாகமா இருந்துச்சு, நான் சாப்பிடல வேற.
அதுக்கு வாசல்ல
So
போய்
that's
என்ன
why
பண்ணலாம்?
And for some context, both of they were sharing a room, and their room was right next to the main door. Like imagine this
Right.
grey soundboard here is the door. This is
Yeah.
their room lah.
Yeah.
And there was a couple
தடுமாறு.
and there was a couple yeah who was sitting right
Outside our
house,
door at the steps.
until like super late. Now
Yeah.
4:30 மணி வரைக்கும் உட்கார்ந்து
Yeah.
இருப்பாங்க, and there was like a lot of police car going in and out.
Yeah.
We can hear siren and stuff. So கதவை என்ன சாவியை காணோம்னு பேசிட்டு இருக்கோம். யாரு கதை திறந்தா? நீ திறந்தியா? அவனே திறந்துக்கிட்டான். அவன் திறக்கிறான், இவன் வந்து சாவியை அப்படியே வெளியே இருக்கிறத பார்க்குறான்.
He was at the outside of the door.
இல்ல,
And it
You're
was
just left
overnight.
it.
இல்ல நான் I remember I went out, right? And I was like, maybe வெளியே வச்சிருப்பேன்.
I still remember his face. No, because I was coming down the stairs. Then because I've very panicky. Because in my house, I'm the one who does the door
Yeah.
checks, everything
Yeah.
every night. So I very panicky really. I very like you like I have like system and routine and all that. If this is one of those things that goes me, I get very like. Then I come down the stairs, this idiot with this face. Exact face.
Yeah, இதேதான்.
This stupid exact
Sorry,
face.
அங்கதான்
Then he
இருக்கு.
opened the door, then he like,
Oh my god.
மச்சான் சாவி வெளிய இருக்கு. Then வாயில நல்லா
So
வந்து.
Yuva is coming down the stairs, Vada is standing near the door, and I'm looking at Yuva, and then we both look at each other. அப்ப என்ன அளவுக்கு நேற்று ராத்திரி எல்லாத்தையும் நம்ம செக் பண்றோம். எவனா இருந்தாலும்
Everything by your main door.
And it's basically in the issue of England.
hello issue number
No, actually no, I agree with you.
Who will check the outside?
yeah exactly. Nobody will think வீட்டு சாவி வெளியே வச்சிட்டு கதவை உள்ளுக்கு
Nobody can be that
Yeah.
dumb no way.
So to back up my innocence here.
back up டா
To back up my
Back up
innocence.
பண்ணி வெளியே போ.
Back up my innocence. நான் சாப்பிடல, நான் கடுப்புல வந்து வெளியே தண்ணி எடுத்துட்டு வெளியே போயிட்டேன்.
So you just left it there. lah.
I don't know what was he thinking. He's hungry, he opened the door, go out, walk around and come back.
Bad smell.
No, but see, the thing is, you're all safe, so.
இல்ல போயிருந்தாருன்னா முதல்ல போறது நானே இருப்பேன்.
அதுல சிம்பாலிக் திங் என்ன தெரியுமா, அந்த வீடு வந்து அது பக்கத்துலயே சுடுகாடு.
Oh my god.
No, the first person to go will definitely be me because கதவு திறந்தோடனே on the right அந்த கதவு பக்கத்துல தூங்க இந்த நாய் உனக்கு தூக்குது.
Just to be
He will have some time to process it.
இல்ல by the time you
cannot see.
இல்ல
என்னது
no you go watch the movie அதவன் என்ன சரஸ்வதி சபதம் மாதிரி இருக்கு இறந்துட்டேடா இது சொர்க்கமா.
You'll be thinking Jawar coming to you. Jawar, hi. Oh,
குத்திட்டு
I am dead.
I am dead.
Oh my god. So now I think when you all ever travel, you will check that first.
No,
right?
you will check this.
No.
At least I don't travel in the way.
டேய் உன் உயிரை காப்பாத்தணும் நான் தான்.
One hour travel பண்ணதோ
We
இல்ல
were
இல்ல
packing.
ஆமாண்டா.
Now after all this incident finished, right, we were outside the door. We were
Yamma.
loading the suitcase inside the car. உள்ளுக்கு திடீர்னு பாம்பு அடிச்ச சத்தம்.
Yeah, really, we were outside the house
Inside
in
your
a
house
van.
now.
Yeah.
So we
This
were
point.
outside the house in a van.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
from outside the house, we can hear one sound.
நம்ம ரெண்டு பேரும் அப்பயும் நம்ம தான் என்ன நடந்திருக்கோம்.
He asked me, I was like, அது விழுந்திருக்கும்.
That's also because he has a habit of dropping everywhere.
You have a habit of dropping everything.
No, because we play football every Friday, right? So we were playing for a few years. So the first few months when he started falling down, he was, hey, they get up. Then after that, he kept falling down, right? We will continue. We will just laugh and then, he fall down at this time today. We were guessing what time he'll fall down. Opponents will be coming to help him. They say, bro, you okay now? I said, bro, leave this one every week.
Until the point he started shout, hey, play on lah, what are you waiting for? Roll. Then there was once we tried to roll him out of the room.
Oh my god. I thought you were going to say he has a habit of dropping things.
No. He fall down.
I am the thing.
He is the thing.
So it turns out, this guy was the one who fell down the stairs.
He was holding the suitcase and fell down.
I didn't fall down. I didn't
But he never rolled down.
He saved my life.
He saved.
No, because on a
Saved my
serious
life.
note, right? If let's say I didn't catch him, his neck would have been
Snap, yeah.
on the staircase. Like he would have cracked on the staircase.
I don't know crack or what lah, but yeah.
No,
my
you're
God.
gonna land.
Definitely, yeah.
இல்ல பரவாயில்ல பக்கத்துல தான்
இல்ல
சுடுகாடு
ஆனா இந்த காமெடி
லிவர்பூல் அவனை பார்த்துட்டு மேண்டி
Thumb, finger.
thumb.
Oh, you fractured
Yeah, so he fractured his thumb, right? The follow-on story to this, right? வீட்டுக்கு வந்தா அவன் என்ன தெரியுமா சொன்னா என்னது thumb என்னாச்சு ஜிம்ல வந்து
Gymல
Funny enough.
So up till now, this whole thing is gym?
Funny enough. 1 month later, I was supposed to get engaged. So the ring was supposed to go on this finger. Then I said, no, you put this finger here. Then I told my fiancé.
ஏன் விரல் வீங்கி இருக்கு ஜிம்ல
I'm strong.
You're marrying a strong and capable man.
Official excuse வந்து என்னன்னா I told her I was doing pull up lah. Then I
புல் அப் பண்ணும்போது வலிக்கு ஒரு வாரம் புல் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க
இல்ல நீ இந்த மாதிரி புல் அப் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்த
இல்ல எந்த ஷவுலின் டெம்பிள்ல நீ புல் அப் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்த
நீ அந்த ஒரு வலி உங்க மாதிரி இது பண்ணிட்டு இருந்த
I'm doing stunt, baby.
இல்ல அவன் ஆக்சிடென்ட்டா டம்பல் வைக்கமல இடிச்சது கூட நான் விட்டு பண்ணா புல் அப் பண்றான்
A choice of
இல்ல அவனால யோசிக்க முடியல அந்த தருணத்துல
Hey. Okay.
this is-
Oh my god. But
இந்த
it's fun,
ஸ்டோரி
good
வந்து
times.
I think every guest கூட ஓடி
Sometimes there's more lah. In New Zealand, I went to New Zealand with him. There were worse things. I'll tell you. I'll tell you if time permits.
So basically travel with us and you'll have a very memorable trip.
travel with a fan or
We can't guarantee you'll come back.
No, we can guarantee even if you come back you won't be saint.
Saint.
You will not
Saint வந்து
அது வேற
you'll not be the same. That's we were not. And that was our first trip actually.
together as a group.
So you got to know each other.
Very well.
You're my
yeah, after the trip, yeah lah. Not for the better lah.
இல்ல and the best part அது தெரிஞ்ச பாட்காஸ்ட் ஆரம்பிச்சோம்.
வந்து தான் ஆரம்பிச்சோம் எனக்கு கோவிட் ஸ்டார்ட் after that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so back to
normal programming, yeah.
So you were in the Battle of Bollywood, right? So you're the first Indian group on stage, you mentioned.
No, so Battle of Bollywood is the one that we brought a team of Singapore dancers to London to compete. So it's actually an inter-university competition.
Right.
So when I was studying there, we did Battle of Bollywood and I represented my university.
Right.
And I became really close to the organizers, Rishi and Tushar. And I think that's how it started to allow an international team to come on board. So that was the same year now. Like uni muchi vandona, I really wanted to do like such like competitions because uni was so fun, like dance competitions, and it was just really nice. So I wanted that. And Inga vandu we didn't really have like a Bollywood dance competition. So I decided to just get a group of dancers, audition panito. We got a team of like 20 dancers. So it's 20 of us, and we had no idea of each other at that point in time because everyone was in different groups or doing different things, and we trained for 6 months, and then we brought over a team to London and we won that competition. Yeah.
So how did that feel, like representing?
It was full of emotions, of course, at the time. I remember we just like Shobha and I, we literally just dropped on stage when we were told it was the first prize because we're competing with university students.
Yeah.
We're competing with people who have been studying together. Like, again, it's all about like the bond, right?
Yeah.
So, and they are very familiar with the space. But it's very different when you are bringing a fresh group. And that too, there's a lot of pressure when you say that you are we call ourselves Sherry Singapore. So it's like Team Singapore. So you're carrying like your country's name with you. It's not just a random name that we came up with. So we brought this team, and they worked very hard. Like competition vandale, like literally every single day, like 12 a.m., 1 a.m. varaikum rehearse pannittu, and then we'll go back home. So like just to go there and perform was already a very big thing for us. But second thing is, of course, when we won and we carried the trophy back, which was this high.
Wow.
So when I had to bring it back in the plane, it was a bit messy. But then I think that moment, we felt really proud of ourselves, like, and all of us, everyone. So it's a group effort, right? So everyone's effort to get to that stage, and that started a lot of things after, like the bond we created. We became friends. We started going for classes together. We started performing together. So it just was like a chain reaction.
So it was like many rounds before you all went to the final, right?
There were one, so we had like semi-finals. That was the video submission, because you couldn't travel just for semis, right? So we did like a video submission, and then we had the finals in London.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
this
when
was
you all go to
2018.
London, ready is straight
to final.
I have a general question. There's a saying that anyone can dance.
Okay.
Is it true?
Prabhudeva Seke.
I won't.
Okay, so to answer this question, firstly, I must ask the person, what does dance mean to you? Right? So it's how you perceive what dance means to you. So if, let's say, dance is an escape, the way you approach it will be very different. So then you, when you're just doing movements, whatever that gives you joy and like that, the escape for a little moment, that's how much you will do dance. That's how far you will go in practicing or like learning dance.
Okay.
But then when you say that dance is like my identity, and then the way you approach dance is very different.
Right.
So then you will go through like a lot of training. So I think anyone can dance it's a bit of a question mark. I think everyone can move. Yes, we all can move. There's movement potential in us, but I think dance is a very strong word. Like dance is an arts, right?
Yeah.
So you just have to branch it out and decide where you see yourself in that category, and then how much the person invests the time into it is how much they can actually move and dance.
Right.
Does it make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, it's like just fun and bonding, lah. That's the most I've.
So then that's just like going for classes,
Okay.
and of course if you are just learning choreographies and all, then that's different. Then there's also a group of people say, no, like I want to pursue dance as a career and stuff. Then for them, then I'll tell them that, okay, you need to train, you need to go through foundation, you got to go techniques, you need to learn discipline and all this that comes into it. So the way the approach is very different. Yeah.
Adili or fitness aspect irukka?
Definitely. So all my dancers have to do cardio trainings. We do circuit trainings. It's intense. I think dancers are almost like athletes to me. They are very, very strong. You need to be able to have the stamina to sustain. Yeah, so you can't just go straight and உடனே ஒரு dance choreography பண்ணக்கூடாது. You'll be injured. Yeah, because your body's not warm, right? And then you go out there and just dance. It's bad for your form and body. And I think that's why a lot of them can't really sustain like doing dance for a very long period of time. It's always like they have knee problems or back problems because they lack so they lack the understanding that you need to actually build your muscles. You need to have core muscles, you need to have core strength. And like you need to be fit to be able to like do certain dance. So again, it comes down to how much you want to do, how much you want to work, and where dance is for you. Right. Right. So, but my dancers have like circuit training. They'll go through.
For us,
intense.
Ligament, ACL.
Triple meniscus tear.
எனக்கு ACL, LCL, MCL.
Why? How?
Football.
நாட்டுக்காக. சத்தியமா நாட்டுக்காக.
For me, football.
Okay.
3 meniscus tears.
ACL, LCL, MCL, hamstring.
Oh my god. No, injuries are
Bruce
normal.
meniscus.
Because I used to represent Singapore in track and field.
Wow.
Then I had a
That's
very bad
nice.
injury. Then had
You
to hang up.
stop. Yeah. I think injuries are bound to happen. It's not like you can avoid it even though you are very fit. Anna, like it just helps you with the recovery faster
Mine
when
was
you
grade 3 there. So I
And
go.
if you're fitter, it also helps with some prevention to an extent,
yeah,
right?
that's exactly why you do that as well.
Because
like-
it cushions your joints.
yeah,
and, those
and
things,
you're stronger to come out of it as well. And you have built the right muscles to support it.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times dancers, it depends on, again, like, you know, how serious they are in this field, that they need to understand that dance is not just physical movement, but it's also like dance education, like dance anatomy. You need to understand your body parts really well, and like which muscles you need to really work on and engage when you're performing or when you're dancing or when you're training itself. Because if you are training wrongly, then that's it. Like it's just going to be a downfall. Like if you're training wrongly. Yeah.
It's a whole discipline in itself.
Yeah,
like dance.
it is. Yeah.
It's like there's a thing called performance athletes, right? It's like those
Yeah.
sort of things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. And is there like nutritional aspect to it also, or is that subjective
I think that's
each
personal.
person?
Yeah, and it's personal. To be very honest, I think it does help generally, but as long as you are working hard and like, you know, in terms of like your fitness and you're also dancing, you're training, consistency is very important. I think that's something we tap on as well. If you're doing it consistently, then I think your body should be well equipped. At meals wise, it's more of a health
Right.
from the health perspective.
General fitness.
Yeah.
Health, right.
You know, yeah. So that's it's important. I mean, it does. I mean, when I do know my fitness friends are like, diet is 70% and workout is 30%, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not. I can't speak for, like, let's say contempt or ballet dancers who are taking this full-time career. Their body is very lean, if you notice. Very different body structure. So maybe they do follow a very strict diet as well. There are dancers who are on very strict diet. But for me, I don't really go on a strict diet. But that is more of a personal decision if I want to be healthy. But I just make sure that my trainings are consistent as much as possible.
I mean, you don't want to feel like you like ரெண்டு prata சாப்பிட்டுட்டு you don't want to feel bloated when you're dancing and all that. Yeah. So that's also a part of it, I guess.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are there any common personality traits amongst dancers that you have seen?
Common personality traits.
Certain types of profiles that are more prominent
Or
than
can you tell
others?
that someone is faking it when it comes to dancing?
No. My question was like, it's like if in a dance group, right? If whether there are certain things common that you spot amongst all your dancers that you have ever noticed. Because I have seen, like, I'll just give maybe an example that I can share with you. Like, those friends I know who are very serious about the gym are very similar to me. Very routine, very structured, very disciplined, and they don't go to the gym for aesthetics. They go to the gym because it's a part of their life, and the mental thing helps with other aspects of life. So there's a very common trait there amongst all the people.
Yeah.
Is there something similar?
I think for my company, I can say that because that's what we have been teaching them since the time they step into the space, right? So once they are there, the discipline is the first thing you'll notice. So they will get straight to what they need to do. They'll be practicing even before someone is already there. So that's what they will be doing before. So I think there are a lot of things that it's how you teach them.
Okay.
It's how when they come to the space, what you actually educate them. That's you actually do notice all of that. Yeah.
Okay. For you personally,
Okay.
Tamil pada cinema le
Okay.
best dancers, male and female.
படம் பார்த்தா தான்
Very good.
Okay, based on what you know. Okay, maybe you've seen songs.
I watch movies. Best dancers to tell movies on. Can I be very real and tell you the backup dancers are actually the strongest dancers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one VJ song in Varisu.
I only
Yeah,
usually
someone was dancing at
the
the
back.
back.
I
The
usually
right.
watch the dancers at the back more than the
'Cause they are the
the
pros,
hero
right,
and the heroine
technically.
because they are actually more technical in the way they present their dance form. So that fascinates me more than the hero or the heroine dancing. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I change it. Best dance songs in Tamil.
Best
That, like if you had to
songs.
pick maybe your top 3.
Interesting.
Dance songs in Tamil.
You can take your time to think.
Yeah, I need to think.
I mean, one for me that just comes out is Minsara Puve Padayappa.
Minsara Kanna, right?
Minsara Kanna, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's somewhere else.
Yeah.
Then I also can do Rajini stats. Don't. You know that time my son was sleeping. Then my wife from my hall, I was in the room. She gave me sign language about what to do about my clothes. She நீ மின்சாரம் நான் படைப்பா I also go. I started laughing. I said, நீ போயிரு.
Oh, that's a tricky question. I've never actually thought about it. Also because I teach, like I'm mostly teaching Bollywood songs.
Okay,
And a
Bollywood
lot
can
of-
also lah.
Yeah. No, but generally because for me, like I don't really have a favorite. Yeah,
So it's that changes.
Yeah, I don't have a favorite. I think for me, if it's just a favorite song, just not to dance, is like Roja Roja. Like I have a favorite song that I really love listening to. But like dance song is like whatever songs I can resonate with, I will just dance to it.
Alright.
Like go to, I can't pick 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
ஒரு நடிகர் ஒரு நடிகை நீங்க கொரியோகிராஃப்
I'll choreograph.
If you choreograph.
கொரியோகிராஃப் பண்ணனும்னா யாருன்னு
To choreograph. Actor வந்து maybe Dhanush. Yeah. I think I would love to choreograph for him. For actress, well, all the current actress now. Madhuri Dixit is an amazing dancer. But if I get an opportunity to choreograph something for her, I think that would mean a lot. Yeah.
You've also met some of the Kollywood actors at an event, right? Recently, I saw your
I
IG stories
did,
before.
yeah. I think that started off. Okay, so this is quite funny. A few years back, I got an Instagram message from Iswarya Arjun. So that's Arjun's daughter, and I thought it was a scam because you know.
As in, hi.
Yeah,
That's
Arjun's
Arjun.
daughter.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, I love Arjun as well. So my mom's a huge fan. Like we love like him. It's just not about his acting. It's just personality wise. It's such a like a amazing human being. Yeah. So when I saw the message, I took 2 days to think about it. Is it a scam? Should I reply? Maybe it's not real. I should just put it aside. But the more I read the message, it felt like it was too good to be a bot. Like it was very well written and like, you know. So I thought, okay, let me just give them a call. That's how it started, and I worked with her. I worked with her actually. I worked with Aishwarya, and yes, she's also an Aishwarya. So sometimes when we communicate, it's like quite funny. So I've like done some dance videos, like we've choreographed something for her, and all of this during COVID. So everything was Zoom, and I really enjoyed my time working with her. She's such a humble person, very, very down to earth. And she's like very much like a sister or a friend, you know, under with a relationship like she's had from the very beginning of time. So that's how we became close, and she always check in, like, you know, sometimes clients when they dance mudichona, like, you know, that's it, that's my that's where I draw the boundary. I'm done. But like she will go above and beyond and check in when, you know, I'm like not well. She'll ask. She'll even call sometimes. I'm like, are you okay? So she's very sweet. She's a very, very sweet person. And I got to like even choreograph for her younger sister. All this was Zoom as well. And then she got married last year, June. Then she invited me. So that's why I went with my husband, and we were part of they had a very private and very intimate wedding ceremony. So it was truly I was very honored to be invited to be a part of her special day.
Nice.
So yeah.
And did you ever think like when you were starting off when you were younger, and then to see like the exposure that you get through dance, like do you ever like think of when you were doing this event, when you were at this event, and I'm pretty sure there's like a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
So what was it like? Because through dance, you actually get to meet these people, go abroad, like London, India, that sort of things.
I would have imagined it for sure, because I think when you're young, you don't really know that you're learning an art form. You don't know what you are doing. You're just doing what, like, okay, Appa joined me in a dance, like put me in a class. I'm just learning. Like you don't really understand that this, if you take this seriously as a career, where is this going to lead you? And I think I've just I would just say it's a blessing. Whatever that I have been, all my experiences, I've just been blessed to have all these experiences, be it in an art school or to like go overseas and like to break the bubble that I've always lived in, like to put myself out there. I think that has created a lot of avenues for me to perform and meet some of these artists.
Okay, so I have a question. I mentioned last time in another episode where a lot of dance videos nowadays are really catered to the social media format of vertical frame, and even the choreography is even portrait and more focused on that kind of on presentation. When you do that, what do you consider social media framing or this what I call social media framing into your dance steps as well, or is there anything more than that?
Okay, so I think social media, I mean, first let's just look at it as a platform, right? So a lot of the artists, especially post-COVID, it started off during COVID time, where a lot of them started like putting these videos in a portrait form, and they will dance within that confined space. Yeah, right. And what gives them the validation that is enough is usually the viewership that
the
gets
likes and followers.
Yeah. So then that became a trend where everyone, started creating in portrait, and I would say that it has both the good and bad in managing social media. We should tap on such resources. I won't say you shouldn't. Like as an artist, you should use whatever tools and resources available to you. So social media is where I use it mostly for my branding. So yes, I do have covers that we try to shoot in like portraits, and sometimes you can't accommodate so many dancers in portraits, so I'll just do landscape and I'll post it up. But it doesn't. But it'll still be a real format, right? You're still catering to the 1 minute 30 seconds. So these are the like contents that we still create for marketing purposes. But when it comes to like actual like, as much as you want to do this, I also think you should take dance outside of your social media life.
Yeah, right.
So you don't really rely on it entirely. You use that to elevate your artistry, but you should also continue pursuing dance outside of it, like, in like proper formal training, foundation techniques, and really understanding the intention behind why you are dancing. So I always tell this to my dancers and also tell myself, you can use all of these. Ninga reel panla, portrait la panla. You can, have that space for your joy, your own entertainment. But ask yourself, if one day there's a social media blackout, can your art sustain beyond that? And if the answer is yes, that's the direction you should take. That's for dancers who are looking at it again as a career.
Correct.
Right? If it's just a fun avenue, then yes, that is enough. Like, I'm happy to post whatever I have, and there's nothing wrong about it. So it's just, again, where you are, what dance means to you, and how far you want to go in dance, and use all of these resources right. Yeah.
Now nowadays there's phones like opening like booklets like that, so it could change, in the next way.
Landscape, But it's a very useful tool. I won't deny that. Social media has become a very useful tool. Like globally, when you also meet a lot of people, social media mulama. So it actually allows you to broaden your network, to also learn from other people. Like there are some artists that you may never be able to meet, like travel pani meet panna mudiyadhu, but they might have online courses and like, or even like social media, like, they have some contents that they're putting up, like what are the things you want to focus on when you're a dancer. So you read on all of that, and you can like, it's very useful. But sometimes then like some of them think that either podum, this is enough, like this is already like gaining a lot of viewership, I'll just stick to this. And they will still want to make, and this group of people would like to have dance as a career, but they don't realize that it's not gonna help in the long run. It's not sustainable. It's a short.
They become more influencer than actual dancers.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. There are two ways, two groups of people here. Yeah.
So Iswarya, thank you so much for spending this one and a half hours.
Oh, wow.
1 hour.
Yeah, 1.5 hours.
Yeah. So it didn't feel like 1 hour.
Yeah,
exactly.
So as a closing, உங்களோட the journey la irundhavanga, your students and even like whoever your network, அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு மெசேஜ் இருந்திருக்கா, என்ன சொல்லுவீங்க? This is your camera that you can.
Oh, okay. To look right there and see. Okay, so I'm very thankful for whoever has walked this path with me, because it's not a very easy journey. So like to everyone, family or friends, or even the dancers that I have and the dance family that I've built, I'm very thankful for this group of people. I cannot do what I do without you guys. and I'm very grateful for that. So, and for those who are looking to take dance as a full-time career, or and dive deeper into it, and always remember that you need to understand the intention of why you're doing it before you go into that area, and do dance as long as it resonates with you. And it has to go way beyond just movement. It also has to have all the values that a dancer or a dance practitioner has to hold, like in terms of like dance discipline, responsibility and stuff. Yeah, but don't lose the joy in the process. Yeah.
Very good. Well said. Yes, we can't top that in any other way. So,
No, we can. There's one way we can top that.
you know what's his favorite dance form?
What?
Bharatanatyam.
Bharatanatyam.
No, because my name is Bharatanatyam. Yappa, the light